She got stopped at the gate of the Mason Bella Polk Culinary Arena because of her faded linen apron and a worn chef's knife that looked like it belonged in a museum. Competitor lanes don't allow kitchen staff, the maitre d' said, eyes skimming her like she was here to mop the floors. One spoiled heir sneered, they letting in dishwashers now. Evelyn said nothing. She just pulled out her father's invitation and walked forward, through the laughter, through the mockery, until one perfect dish shut them all the hell up. Mason Bella Polk Culinary Arena was a cathedral of flame and steel. Marble counters gleamed beneath chandeliers. Copper pots lined the walls like armor. Knives flashed under soft white light, blades sharp enough to whisper. Every station a showcase, every chef a pedigree, coats stitched with Michelin stars, names embroidered in gold thread. The smell of truffle and ambition hung thick in the air. Membership here wasn't a job, it was a bloodline, sons of restaurateurs, daughters of culinary empires, prodigies from Paris, Tokyo, New York. Outside, a velvet rope split the world, competitors on one side, everyone else on the other. Evelyn Carter stood on the wrong side. Her apron soft and faded, linen gray, washed thin, a single knife slung at her hip, the handle worn smooth by years of use. No sponsors, no sous chef, no polished knife roll. At 23, Evelyn was a quiet force, her beauty raw and unadorned, hair tied back in a loose knot, strands glinting like copper under the lights, her blue-gray eyes steady, calm. The maitre d', Miles Bennett, blocked her path at the competitor's gate, black vest, crisp tie, smile honed to a blade. This is a competition for chefs, he said, his voice soft but cutting. Competitor lanes don't allow kitchen staff. He didn't look at her face. His eyes raked the apron, the old knife, the empty hands. Across the lobby, Preston Hale leaned against the velvet rope, white chef's coat, monogrammed cuffs, son of a luxury hotel chain owner. They letting dishwashers cook now, he called, loud enough to carry. Laughter rippled behind him. Evelyn didn't flinch. Her hand brushed the edge of the invitation tucked in her pocket. A simple card, one name embossed at the bottom, Master Chef Marcus Quinn. She held it out. Miles scanned. The reader blinked green. His smile cracked, but he stepped aside. This is a mistake, he muttered. The crowd shifted, not to make room, to watch, phones lifted, cameras already rolling, captions forming, dishwasher girl at Bella Polk, good luck, sweetheart. Evelyn crossed the rope, the laughter followed. The kitchen floor gleamed like glass beneath the arena lights. Stainless steel stations lined both sides of the hall, each polished to reflection. Heat lamps glowed amber. Overhead cameras tilted down, already streaming to the giant screens above the judging panel. Evelyn moved through the space alone, no assistant, no entourage, just the soft sway of her linen apron and the quiet tap of her boots against the tile. Preston Hale's grin widened as she passed. He leaned into his phone, livestream on, voice syrup smooth. Guess they're letting the janitors play chef this year. The comment hit the stream fast. Discord chat lit up. Who's the intern? Did she bring her own mop? Cameras zoomed in, focused on the worn knife handle at her hip, the faded fold lines on her apron. A ripple of snickers rolled through the prep room. Sienna Hale stood near the pantry entrance, arms crossed, coat starched, lips curled, her voice sharp enough to slice butter. Look at her. Does she even know what a seafood course is? The mic caught every word. Comments flooded. Home cook cosplay. Someone get her a YouTube tutorial. Evelyn's hands stayed steady, her eyes forward, but on the screen above, her mother's face appeared in the livestream chat, pale, quiet, watching. Chef Laura Vance circled the prep floor, blazer crisp, diamond earrings catching the light. She stopped at Evelyn's station, gaze sliding across the empty counter, the single knife laid beside a linen towel. This is highly irregular, Vance said, voice low but carrying. Mason Bella Polk is for trained professionals, not charity cases with hand-me-down cutlery. She gestured at the knife, the blunt edge of contempt clear. Your presence here undermines the standards of this competition. Perhaps a local community cook-off would suit you better. The audience nodded, some smirking, a few clapping softly, approval quiet but cruel. Leave now, Vance added, and we'll forget this embarrassment. Evelyn's braids shifted as she adjusted her apron. Her blue-gray eyes flickered, but her face remained calm. Her mother's hands clenched on the screen. The chef's pity a blade duller than it looked. The crowd's condescension, a wall they thought would hold. Overhead the screens flashed as the livestream chat swelled, comments piling on. Nice apron, thrift queen, she'll burn water. The arena buzzed, voices layering like smoke, but Evelyn stood still. The knives gleamed around her, the laughter pressed in. And the clock began to count down. Nathan Pierce stood at the center station. His chef's coat pressed sharp, sleeves rolled just enough to show the ink along his forearm. 7 stars, one for every title he'd taken. His knives arranged in perfect order, handles aligned like soldiers at parade rest. His ingredients laid out across marble: lobster tails, sea urchin, saffron threads fine as hair. The golden boy of Belle Epoque, last year's champion, flawless. He glanced across the arena. His eyes found Evelyn's empty counter, the single knife, the basket of market fish tucked beneath her station. Nathan smiled. "Tell you what," he called, voice smooth, loud enough to ride the livestream feed. "If she beats me today, I'll walk." Preston let out a sharp laugh, tossing a spoon onto the steel. "Oh, come on, Nate, don't make it that easy." Nathan didn't flinch. "But if I win," he added, eyes steady on Evelyn, "she clears out, right now, no second round." The words landed hard, screens above caught the moment, chat surged. "Rip thrift shop chef, play stupid games." Evelyn's gaze met his, quiet, flat, no tremble. She nodded once, didn't speak, didn't blink. Preston turned, leaning against the edge of Nathan's station. "This is gonna be quick." The maitre d', Miles Bennett, sauntered by, hands clasped behind his back, smile slick. He paused at Evelyn's table, eyes skimming the basket at her feet. "Sea bass?" he asked, mock surprise. "Not even bluefin." He clicked his tongue. Budget cuts must be rough. Sienna Hale passed close, pausing just long enough for the mic to catch her. Maybe she's making fish sticks. The Discord chat spiraled. "Call Gordon Ramsay. That apron's seen more dish soap than sauce." Above them, the rules flashed onto the screen. Seafood course. Signature dish. 2 hours. No assistance. No substitutions. Presentation required. The buzzer sounded, knives unsheathed, flames lit. Nathan's hands moved fast, butterflying lobster tails in 2 clean strokes, saffron dissolving into clarified butter, lemon zest floating like confetti. Every move precise, every step rehearsed. Evelyn unwrapped a head of fennel, the soft crack of roots snapping clean. She set a small stockpot on the flame. Bones dropped in with salt, peppercorn, bay leaf. No sous vide, no thermal circulators, no liquid nitrogen mist. Preston's camera caught the moment, zoomed in tight. Grandma's soup recipe. The arena filled with the hiss of steam, the clink of blades against board. Evelyn's hands stayed steady. The clock kept counting. Nathan's station burned bright beneath the overhead lights. Lobster shells split clean, roe whisked into foam, bright orange against porcelain white. Saffron butter glazed each piece, gold pooling along the seams. His team, silent by rule, electric by presence, stood just outside the frame, eyes locked on his hands. Every move a show, every cut deliberate, precision honed from a lifetime of winning. The cameras loved him, zoomed in on his knife work, the shimmer of sea urchin tongues laid soft atop caviar. Discord chat sang, "Golden boy killing it, Michelin magic." Preston leaned back, arms crossed, phone raised to catch every angle. She might as well pack up now. The audience watched the big screens. Watched Nathan slice, sear, torch. Watched him drop spheres of cucumber gel into liquid nitrogen, spin a plate beneath his fingers like a coin. His station gleamed, his ingredients flawless. Sienna adjusted her collar, lips pursed, nodding slow. Show already over. Miles Bennett drifted through the rows, pausing near Nathan's table, nodding approval. His smile polished thin. "Beautiful work, Chef Pierce," he said, loud enough for the mic. Nathan's jaw flexed once, a polite nod. The clock ticked down, 40 minutes gone. Evelyn's station stayed quiet, 1 pot on the flame, fish bones turning pale beneath the simmer, herbs floating like soft green ghosts, fennel chopped fine, the knife gliding smooth, steady. Her hands moved slow, unbothered, no smoke, no spectacle. Preston's camera caught the stillness. She's boiling water. Somebody help her Google plating. Sienna's laugh sliced the air. Maybe she's waiting for divine intervention. The judges sipped coffee at the panel table, eyes drifting between Nathan's fireworks and Evelyn's quiet prep. One judge smirked, muttering low, "At least it'll be easy to score." Nathan folded the lobster tails into butter, flame flickering blue at the edges. Coral foam piped perfect along the rim of the plate, every garnish placed with tweezers. The livestream feed locked onto his finished dish as he stepped back, arms folded, eyes calm, the plating a painting. The chat exploded. 10 out of 10. Game over. Preston clapped slow, loud enough to carry. I mean, honestly, how do you top that? The screen panned to Evelyn's counter. No sous vide, no torches, no gels, just the quiet hiss of stock reducing, her blade flashing once, twice through the fillets. Nathan's eyes stayed on her, waiting for her to fold, but she didn't. Evelyn's hands moved steady, knife gliding clean through the fillets, each slice thin as air, no tremor, no hurry. Her stock simmered low, surface glossy, herbs wilted to silk. She strained it through linen, poured slow, clear as glass. Preston leaned closer to his phone, voice dripping. Somebody tell her it's not a home ec class. The Discord chat piled on. Is she making soup? Grandma's Sunday stew. Sienna crossed her arms, shaking her head. I almost feel bad. The cameras caught it all, zoomed tight on the plain white bowl at Evelyn's station. One piece of sea bass, seared skin crackling bronze, laid soft on a bed of fennel and citrus. Broth poured hot around the fish, rising just to the edge. She placed 3 sprigs of fresh dill at the center, nothing more. The screen above split between Nathan's masterpiece, lobster tails, foam, pearls of caviar, and Evelyn's single, simple bowl. Miles Bennett passed behind her, voice slick. Brave choice, sweetheart. Nothing to hide behind when it's that simple. The judges glanced at each other, the smallest tilt of a brow. One of them scribbled something into a notebook. Evelyn wiped the rim of the bowl, hands calm, movements clean. Her mother's face still hovered on the livestream chat, watching, silent. The clock ticked down, 15 minutes left. Nathan stood with arms crossed, gaze locked on her station, the gold threads of his coat catching the light as he shifted once, jaw tight. Preston leaned toward him, grinning. I almost feel bad you had to waste a challenge on this. Evelyn moved to the plating table, alone, no assistant, no partner to carry the dish, just her hands steady beneath the weight of their mockery. The cameras followed every step. Discord chat scrolled fast. Soup girl's turn. How cute. But as she placed the bowl before the judges, the steam rose soft from the broth. The aroma caught on the air, fennel, citrus, bay, the clean salt of the sea. And one by one, the judges leaned forward. The first judge lifted his spoon. Broth shimmered gold beneath the lights, steam rising soft as breath. He dipped once, tasted, stopped. His eyes stayed down, the spoon paused midair. The second judge followed, sipped slow, chewed the edge of his lip without meaning to. The third reached for the bowl before the fourth could move, a quiet urgency, like hunger they hadn't noticed until now. Preston's laugh stalled in his throat, his phone still raised, streaming. The chat paused. Wait, what's happening? Sienna's arms uncrossed, her smile faded sharp at the edges. The head judge, Master Chef Marcus Quinn, held the spoon steady between his fingers, his eyes on the broth, not Evelyn, his face unreadable. Then he took another sip. Silence wrapped the arena tight. Preston leaned toward Nathan, voice lower now. It's soup. Nathan didn't answer, his gaze fixed on the judges, on the way their bodies leaned closer to the table, as if the bowl itself had gravity. One judge closed his eyes after the second taste, let the spoon rest quiet in the bowl. Chef Quinn finally looked up, his voice soft but it carried. This, he said, tapping the rim of the bowl with one finger, tastes like home. The live stream caught every word, comments surged, stumbling. Hold up, what did he just say? Evelyn stood still, no bow, no smile. Quinn set the spoon down slow, hands folded in front of him, his eyes sharp now, locked on her. What's your name, chef? Evelyn Carter, she answered, steady. Quinn nodded once, his voice softer. Who taught you to cook like this? Evelyn's braids shifted as she lifted her chin, her blue-gray eyes clear. My father, she said, Thomas Carter. The judges froze, the audience stilled. A ripple moved through the arena like a dropped glass. Preston's face dropped first, color draining, his lips parting without sound. Nathan's hands clenched the edges of his station. Sienna's mouth opened, then shut again. Thomas Carter, the name heavy as iron, head chef of Belle Mason, the man who had trained a generation of stars before dying quietly 5 years ago. The chat exploded. That, Carter, no way, she's his daughter. Quinn's hands pressed together, fingertips touching, his voice thick now. Your father taught me, before he taught anyone else. Evelyn's eyes held his, quiet, unmoving. And somewhere in the back row, the laughter finally stopped. The arena held its breath, judges still, audience silent. The overhead screens froze on Evelyn's face, calm, steady beneath the weight of their shock. Preston's phone hung loose in his hand, stream still rolling. The Discord chat lagged, stunned. It's her. She's Carter's daughter. Oh my God. Sienna Hale's lips pressed thin, her arms crossed tighter, eyes fixed on the bowl like it had betrayed her. Chef Laura Vance recovered first, cleared her throat, forced a smile. Name doesn't win competitions, she said, voice clipped. We judge the dish. But her fingers tapped sharp against the clipboard. Chef Victor Pierce rose from the judges' panel, straightened his jacket, his mouth a hard line. Family ties or not, this is a professional arena. Standards must be upheld. Quinn's gaze slid toward him, cold. The standard is the plate. Miles Bennett hovered near Evelyn's station, his smile cracking, sweat beating at his temple beneath the perfect part of his hair, his voice softer now. It was well presented. But the stream had caught him before. The sneers, the smirk, his own words on loop in the comments. Kitchen staff at the competitor gate. Budget cuts must be rough. The feed pinned his face to the corner of the screen. Quinn turned to the arena crew, voice clear. Rewind the footage. The video rolled back, Miles at the gate, his eyes sliding over Evelyn, the contempt, the dismissal. Preston took half a step back, his laugh dead in his throat, his own livestream still pinned top of the Discord chat. Dishwasher girl, grandma's stew, pack it up. The crowd shifted, their weight moving with the air. Nathan Pierce stood rooted at his station, his hands clenched, his knuckles white. Chef Quinn's voice broke the silence. Effective immediately, Miles Bennett is suspended pending review. Gasps rippled the room, phones raised again, streams surging back to life. Laura Vance straightened her blazer, lips pressed thin, but the video rolled on, her words loud and clean over the footage. Perhaps a local cook-off would suit you better. Quinn's eyes cut sharp, Chef Vance suspended, pending disciplinary hearing. Sienna Hale's mouth snapped shut, Nathan's jaw worked once, then again. Quinn's gaze swept the hall. This arena is not a playground for arrogance, he said. Skill, not status. The livestream chat shifted. Holy hell, finally. Preston stepped back, his voice cracking. I did, but the clip of his voice looped back overhead. She really is making soup. The words loud, clear, unforgiving. Nathan took a slow breath. His eyes never left Evelyn. He stepped forward, raised his hand. I was wrong, he said, voice low but steady. I challenged her. The crowd turned, phones lifted again. Nathan's chest rose once slow, his hands unclenched. She didn't just beat me, he said. She destroyed me. The arena stayed quiet. Evelyn's hands rested at her sides, calm, steady. The scoreboard flashed the judges' scores. Perfect. Across the arena, the laughter was gone. The applause came slow, hesitant at first. One clap, then another. A ripple across the arena floor, growing, folding into something louder, sharper, a reckoning. Evelyn stood still, her braids swayed soft against her back, her eyes steady beneath the floodlights. The judges rose one by one, Chef Quinn last, his hands pressed together, nodding slow. Evelyn Carter, he said, voice clear, broadcast across the arena, caught by every stream. Your dish sets the new standard for this competition. The scoreboard locked the score, perfect, highest in event history. The chat caught fire. Evelyn Carter's a legend, thrift apron queen. Preston Hale stood frozen at his station, his phone lowered, his hands limp at his sides, his mouth half open but no words came. Sienna's fingers dug into the sleeves of her coat, white-knuckled, lips tight. Miles Bennett gone, Laura Vance gone, names stripped from the overlay on the screen. The crowd turned, not away from Evelyn, toward her. The applause swelled. Nathan Pierce moved first, his black coat sharp against the white glow of the overhead screens, his hands unclenched, his head lowered once, a bow slight but real. I came here sure I couldn't lose, he said, voice low, carried by the mic clipped at his collar. But I was wrong. The chat surged, respect, real one. Nathan's eyes found hers, blue against blue-gray. You're not just better, he said, you're untouchable. The judges nodded, quiet approval folding into the clapping. The audience rose, section by section, a standing wave. Evelyn's mother's face hovered again in the chat feed, watching, tears caught at the edge of her smile. The screens flashed the final verdict, winner, Evelyn Carter. Quinn lifted the trophy, silver bright beneath the chandeliers, but he didn't step forward. He held it at his chest, eyes soft. "Come get it, Chef Carter," he said. Evelyn walked forward, calm, measured. When she reached the stage, Nathan was waiting at the base of the stairs, his hands at his sides, his voice lower now. "I owe you everything," he said. She paused, met his eyes, that faint smile breaking soft across her face. "Coffee's a start," she answered. The arena's lights caught the curve of her lips, the screens caught Nathan's flush, the audience caught their breath. The chat exploded. "He's in love. Get this man a ring." The trophy fit her hands like it had always belonged there, her apron still faded, her knife still worn. The stream rolled on, comments flooded. "She changed everything. Evelyn inspires." The arena staff updated the winner's plaque. Evelyn Carter, record holder, Maison Belle Epoque Grand Prix de Cuisine. The names of the arrogant, the mockers, deleted clang beneath the scoreboard. Preston Hale's coat hung loose on his frame as he slipped out through the side entrance, his entourage gone, his camera feed dead. Sienna packed her knives in silence, her shoulders drawn tight beneath the starched white fabric. Nathan stayed, his eyes still tracing Evelyn's calm, the quiet strength that held the room. The audience's applause didn't fade. It rose, a tide that wouldn't stop, her victory sealed, not in foam or smoke, but in 10 perfect steps and one perfect dish.